Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Mitchell Chamber of Commerce Candidate Forum for Mitchell Council race as well as the mayoral race. We have our candidates seated up here, and I'll go over the form of our format tonight. I'm Scott Miller from KMED. We have, of course, our 6 candidates. The plan is for 2 to 3 minutes each for each question, to answer each question, and we'll rotate through both sides, both the council candidates as well as the mayoral candidates. And we will have questions drawn at random from a hat, with the exception of the very first question, which I will use to help incorporate and have you introduce yourselves. And then we will end with each candidate having approximately 5 minutes for a closing statement. And that's how our format will go this evening. So we will start over here, and we have just the one microphone, wireless, or do we have 2? Just the one. We'll start over here, and we'll incorporate the first question along with your introduction. Okay. And the first question is, why are you running for office, and what qualifications do you think you bring to the role? Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Michael Burns. I'm running for office because I want to be part of the legislative body, because I love this town, and we need to be working together to form a better system of government and get along with the citizens of Mitchell. I have 30 years experience in city government as an employee and an administrator. And I think that we need to set up some accountability with the city government and the citizens of Mitchell.
I'm Jared Kimball. I'm running for city council because I love the city. I love our little town. And I feel like, since I've lived here, which is about 6 years, it seems a little stagnant. It's not really going anywhere. There's a lot of potential here. And I do feel like, in my opinion, we've been in the news on the negative aspect way too much. And I'd really like to see that on the positive side of things. And I want people in our community and in the surrounding areas, when they hear about Mitchell, they're like, hey, that's a thriving little town. As far as experience goes, I'm just getting started. I'm new to this. I've been on the chamber board or a member of the chamber for a little over a year. On the planning and zoning committee for a little under a year. So on that aspect, again, not so much in the way of experience. However, I'm an honest person. I feel like I'm an honest person. I feel like I can bring integrity to this community. And honestly, it's quite a bit of energy as well. I'm 45 and I've got a lot of life left in me, so I can bring quite a bit of energy. I took over the family business about, July of last year, and so that's another aspect where I can bring something to this community is properly the use of finances, so the citizens of this community feel like their taxpayer dollars are being well spent. So.
Good evening. I'm Gary Riverbush. I currently sit on the Mitchell City Council. I have for 6 years now been on council. I would like to thank everyone for showing up. This shows interest in our community, and people want to be interested in it, and it's what this community needs. I started attending city council meetings about 1990 and have served virtually just about on every committee there is. A few I haven't. But I decided down the road that I said to myself, you ought to try it for city council because I think I've got something I can offer this community. It took a lot of deliberation to do it, but I did, and I got elected to council. I've been very happy with on it. I do vote some things that people don't care for or contrary to it, but I foresee a good future for this city coming up, and so I'd again like to thank everyone that's here.
I'm Sean Hopkins. I also serve on the council. Can't hear me? How about now? I'm Sean Hopkins, and I do, as well as Gary, I serve on the council. I've been on the council for a long time. I've seen a lot of things that I would like to change. A lot of my goals are commitment, transparency, a higher level of communication, and accountability that we need to bring back to the community and build back that trust with the community to bring not only our city government needs to be embodied with the people that are in the community. We need to have their input. We need to respect what they bring to the table as well. So I've been on several of the committees as well, served on some boards, and I want to continue. So I've decided to make the step up to mayor to see if I can't make some changes. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you all for coming out tonight. It truly means something when people take time to be involved in the future of their town, our town. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Stephen Lacey. I'm a proud member of this community and a prior city council member. I'm a family man and someone who deeply believes in the future of Mitchell. This town isn't just where I live, it's home. It's where I've built my life, where I'm raising my family, and where I want to see continued opportunity, growth, and stability for generations to come. I want to take a moment to talk about something that matters to all of us, and that's trust. Trust is the foundation of any strong community. It's what allows people to believe in their leadership, to feel confident in decisions being made, and to know that their voices matter. And that when trust is shaken, it doesn't just impact City Hall, it impacts the entire community. I believe trust isn't given, it's earned. Through actions, accountability, and consistency. That's the standard I hold myself to, and that's the standard I believe Mitchell deserves. With my previous time serving on the council, I had the opportunity to be part of important conversations and decisions that impact our community every single day. I've listened to residents, worked alongside leaders, and stayed focused on what matters most. Making sure Mitchell continues to move forward in a way that reflects our shared values. One of the things I'm most proud of being part of is the continued development of our downtown. We've seen progress, new energy, and investment, but we're not done yet. I want to keep that momentum going. A strong downtown supports our local businesses, creates jobs, and gives us all a place to gather and connect. It's in the heart of our community. It deserves continued attention and thoughtful approach towards growth. But growth doesn't just mean new buildings or businesses.
Time.
Go ahead and finish. I apologize, I thought it was 10 minutes.
No, no, sorry.
So,
You have you can take about another 30 seconds or so.
okay, well, thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate this. We really appreciate your support. Mitchell has so much to be proud of and even more potential ahead. I'm running for mayor because I care deeply about this town and I'm committed to doing the work to help it thrive. Let's keep Mitchell moving forward together with purpose and with pride.
Yeah.
How do you work this?
It's already live.
My name is Kyle Kakuda. I've been in I lived in Mitchell for about 40-some years. That high up?
Just close.
Oh, can you hear me now? All right. I've been 40 years. I led a simple life and everything else. I know this community is probably one of the best communities I've been into. I've visited other communities and stuff like this, but Mitchell is probably one of the best. And for running mayor, I want to see growth in the city of Mitchell. That's it.
Thank you, candidates, for introducing yourselves and asking that, or answering that first question. So these are being drawn at random. They may be different between the mayoral candidates and the council candidates. They may be the same. Kyle, we'll start with you on that end, for mayoral candidates, with our first question. What is the number one issue you hope to address during your term as mayor?
Well, straighten things out and trying to figure out what's going on and what happened. And to improve the community and everything else and bring some business into Mitchell. Try to. That'll be it.
Go ahead and pass it to your left. There you go. Go ahead.
Oh, we're all answering the
You're
same
all answering
question?
the same question.
No, they each can answer a different question.
They each need to answer a
Yeah,
different
they
question.
each can ask, yeah.
Do we have enough questions in there?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. All right. Our next question, what strategies would you use to improve communication between the community and the city council?
That's you, Steve.
Yes, thank you. This question rings very true and very dear to me. This communication is important to all of us, and in order for us to fulfill the policy, fulfill the obligation that the city has to the community, we need to have clear communication. That must be not just through the city council, but the city administrators. We need to have clear communication for residents to come and talk to any of the members of the city or the staff to ask questions. We need to ensure that we have community involvement before the votes happen. We can't just be upset with our votes when the community doesn't reach out to the people casting the votes for them before the votes happen. It's a very important part of the process to ensure that all of our voices are heard and ring up through the votes that happen in city council.
How would you assess the current health of Mitchell's Main Street, and what steps would you take to strengthen or revitalize the downtown area?
Well, that's a good one. We have a lot of abandoned buildings. We have a lot of buildings that are used strictly for storage. We have a lot of buildings that I know need a facelift, they need a roof, they need to be tore down. There's a lot of buildings that are just non-inhabitable. The city, in my aspects of it, or my view, is we should provide the water, the electrical, the sewer. We clean the streets, we take care and maintain the roads, and we support, say for example, the chamber coming in. Chamber's trying to fix up some of the properties. We want to support the chamber, but as a city, we need to work with the chamber and work with trying to get things immobilized, try to work with the owners of some of these buildings and say, are you going to do anything with it? Can the city help with that? I don't know. I would like to help try to do that. I'd like to get some more information out, get some more brainstorming from the community. What does the community want to do? What does the community think would be a good idea, and how we can maintain or manipulate getting this to move forward? And I think that's going to take a lot of time.
For our council candidates, number one, what are the three most common issues voters have raised with you during the campaign?
Now, that question is, been a lot of questions concerning the last 4 years of what's going on. That's where most of the questions have come from in regard to that. But my feeling is that's a past and we need to move forward. Downtown development, cleanup of our town is very important. This is something that has been needed for a long time. We do see good activity in the chamber, and we're seeing some businesses coming in and trying to work with it. We need to be responding to them and helping every which way we can.
How would you address snow removal and street sweeping to ensure timely and effective service?
Well, that's also kind of an interesting question. To my knowledge, I actually got some, asked this question to our city administrator. You know, I think like the street sweeping around, you know, as early as the morning, around 5:30, I believe they get out. They clean up the streets, you know, on the main streets like Broadway, Center Avenue, you know, before people get up and start going to the work. And then once that happens, then they are, you know, then try to hit the side streets. Same thing with the snow removal. You know, the city employees, you know, my understanding is they don't really go out and do much of removal if it's an inch or less. And that starts when it's, you know, when you hit 2-3 inches, you know, then they get out, hit the main emergency streets first, again, before everybody gets up to go to work and or go to school, you know, and then hit the side streets. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how to answer that question because, you know, from the sound of it, my knowledge anyway, it's sounding like it's being addressed. However, if there is any other way to improve on that, you know, I'm definitely going to be looking, you know, at other ways, you know, to make it a little bit faster, you know, make it to where just, you know, people are a little bit safer. Thank you.
How would you address derelict or deteriorating buildings in the community, including potential removal or refurbishment?
Good question. We need to have public safety and ownership, accountability, and community to look at these buildings. If they need to be removed, we need to get them removed. More for safety than anything. And it's the community input and for public safety.
What are the 3 most common issues voters have raised with you during your campaign?
Well, like I said in my introduction, honesty, accountability, and transparency. People want to be heard in this community. They want to be able to voice their opinion. They want to be able to ask questions, and when they ask the questions, they want to get answers. We need to open up more to let these people understand, hey, as a council, as a mayor, as city staff, we do care. And we do want to listen, and we do want to make changes. And I want to work on that a lot. I want to make sure that there is no cloak and dagger, there's nothing hidden, there's no suspicion of what if. We want to keep things open and clear as possible. Accountability-wise, same thing. If something's wrong, we need to do what we can to fix it. I want to ask the community, what do you want to bring to the table? How can we fix this? What is your ideas? I don't want to have a closed door. So I just want to work with the people that are here.
How do you plan to involve residents and business owners in the city's decision-making process?
Again, the residents need to speak with their elected officials to ensure that their voice is heard during the votes. A great way for businesses to get involved in the city, especially if the business owners don't live in the community, is get involved in the Chamber of Commerce. And the Chamber of Commerce needs to work, or the city needs to work directly with the Chamber of Commerce as an organization to help fulfill some of those needs and drive initiatives, especially around beautification or economic development. There's a lot of opportunities that we haven't utilized. There's lots of processes that are already in place that we just need to start having those conversations and be involved. That's the best thing I can say, is just be involved.
What changes would you make to improve morale among city employees?
Well, my first thing to do is if I was elected mayor, I would I'll have what they call a meeting of all the members and the council members and see what's going on. And go to the street department, have a little meeting with them and try and figure out what's going on and how to shape things up and everything else.
Thank you. When evaluating a proposal for new public infrastructure, what criteria would you use to determine whether the project is worthwhile?
Property appraisal, selection, and work with the other council members to see that we get the right results that'll help the city investments.
How do you plan to involve residents and business owners in the city's decision-making process?
Well, like it's already been said, transparency, I do believe any way to market, agendas, to where the city, the citizens, that they can see what the agendas are. And then, like Sean mentioned, the open door policy of, when there's a council meeting, that the citizens know, hey, you are welcome to come to the council meeting. We want you to express your opinions, and that they are being heard, and that we're not just shutting them down, and telling them that it's only our agenda, our opinions that matter. No, it's the opinions of the citizens, So, again, it's that open door policy, in my opinion, that they know that their voices is heard.
What is the number one issue you hope to address during your term on the city council?
Getting our public trust back that we used to have. It was really eroded, and we need to get it back. Before we can accomplish anything in this town, we've got to get the public back involved with the council, the transparency, so that everyone is on the same page. There's been, I don't know how to describe it, it hasn't been a nice, pleasant past, but we want to make a difference. Thank you.
How would you address derelict or deteriorating buildings in the community, including potential removal or refurbishment?
Well, you have to talk to the landowners, building owners and stuff, give them a choice of either fix it or going into details of, I would say demolish or refurbish it or somehow with the owner. And that's about the only thing I could think of, is there's a lot of abandoned buildings here that needs to be fixed or demolished. And to my opinion is, I would have to talk to the landowners or the building owner and talk to the zoning community and see how to approach to either refurbish it or demolish it. And that'd be it.
How do you plan to work with the Chamber of Commerce to support community and economic development? Again, it's very important to me that the city work with the chamber, be involved with those. As I said before, the chamber helps bring some ideas and proposals to the city that can be a collaboration, well, not just a request for work. I know that the chamber is very active in our community. They support lots of different projects, whether it be the signs around town, the signs at the park. Those are all things that need the city to be involved in so that we can make those efforts the best possible, not just a small one-time thing, but making a long-standing projects that will be here for future generations.
How would you ensure that individuals with opposing viewpoints have equal access to the council agenda?
Well, as I said before, coming into council meetings, I want them to be heard. I want to be able to give them their chance at a council meeting or on the phone. There's people here in the community that know that they've called me. I have went out of my way to get answers for them. I've worked with them. I'm not here to tell people to be quiet. I'm not here to tell people, oh, we'll take care of it and then ignore them. I go out of my way to make sure that I get answers. I've talked to the clerk, I've talked to the administrator, I've talked to the employees to find out what the best track is that we can go to make sure that things are being done and that questions are being answered.
How do you plan to work with the chamber to support economic development and the community?
Well, I've worked with the chamber in the last few years since they came active again. I am not a member of the chamber, but I've worked with them. I listen to their ideas. And also, when we go into council, their request for funds and permission to do things, we study them, we look at them, and I'm very proud to say I support the chamber 100%. I think they're a big driving force that this community has.
How would you assess the current health of Mitchell's Main Street, and what steps would you take to strengthen and revitalize the downtown area?
I believe the Main Street, it's a work in progress. You know, little by little, it's improving. However, you know, like it's already been said, there are some buildings that are just sitting there, totally deteriorating. Owners are not wanting to do anything in the way of an improvement to them. You know, I do feel like the zoning needs to be enforced, you know, and if they don't follow through on what the zoning for that is, you know, rather than just a storage unit or to collect junk or whatever, you know, then we need to enforce that they either make the changes, you know, or, you know, there's going to be consequences, you know, whether it's the sale of the building, you know, or whatever. If it's inhabitable, you know, got to tear it down, you know. But again, I believe we're headed in the right direction, you know, with the downtown. You know, they're just, you know, we need to get some of these buildings looking a lot better than they currently are.
If the city received a large grant with flexible use, how would you prioritize spending it and why?
We have a lot of infrastructures that are in bad shape. You could split them up, most important first, and work through it so they're all divided equally, so we can make repairs and build up the infrastructure that we have.
How would you describe your leadership style and leadership strengths?
My leadership style is I like to be hands-on. I like to communicate. I like to give positive input. I like to support and praise those for what they do. If something's wrong, I'm not going to come in and be like, what are you doing? No, I want to know how we can fix it. There's not any individual that's in the city that this city is solely dependent on. I don't care if it's the mayor, the council, or the employees. All of us have to work together, and we have to work together, and the common goal is providing a safe, clean, and operating city. I don't want to be the mayor that's going to dictate how things run. No, I want to be part of the team that makes things run.
How would you support the active return of committee involvement in city decisions, such as LB 840, Keno funds, the golf course committee, and city beautification efforts?
The committee involvement, these tasks should be delegated. They put the right people in the right place to make the decisions who are close, the people who know about the golf course and who are familiar with all aspects of that. Those people need to be put on a committee so that they can help make the decisions that then are brought to council with recommendations. The same thing applies for the LB 840 money and the Keno funds and the beautification efforts. Put the people who are interested, who want to help together, facilitate their brainstorming, coming up with ideas, and you put the right people in the right places and great things can happen.
What checks and balances would you implement to ensure city funds are managed responsibly and not subject to abuse?
Well, the first thing I'll probably do is incorporate a committee that, I would check, make sure the city clerk and city administrator has everything in line to make sure it's not, how would you say, out of balance or something's going wrong. And for the finance type of deal, I would probably have 3 signatures. Make sure we're not abusing the funds and stuff, or with bills and stuff like that, or other things that could happen. But the check and balances, I would have the council and the city clerk and all the others to let me know how things, what happened and how to correct it.
What steps would you take to rebuild trust between the city leadership and the community?
Questions come up many times this evening. That's still the transparency and honesty. If you don't have those things, you're never going to get the community's trust. That's the first thing that's got to be done, developed. And I think the candidates that are running and want to be on this board, I think they're bringing their expertise and try to want to do that. I think all of us, me included, setting city council, is tired of what's going on. We know there's more potential for this town, and I think we've got some very good people in this town that will help carry it out.
If elected, what steps would you take to improve public facilities, such as the swimming pool, golf course, and baseball fields?
Well, I think we need to stress, try to get as much funding as possible. Look, see what grants are out there available, and apply for them and try to get as much as we can there on the grant side of things. Maybe fundraisers. See if we have citizens that would be willing to help out in that situation, and then from there on we go. On certain needs, what is the most important need? And try to address that most important need where those are concerned, and then go down from there.
What actions would you take to promote the business community and encourage future business growth?
First of all, we have to protect our own businesses now, promote them, and see that we can get, that they can come in and get better chance to, for financing and stuff like that, we can get better working with the chamber and its entities and stuff like that to get businesses to come to Mitchell. We got to prove to them that we are a town.
How would you, excuse me, how would you handle misconduct by a city employee, for example, of verbally abusing a resident? And what protocols would you put in place for conflict resolution?
That's stuff that I've already been looking at and addressing. We have, it's not anything that the council can do. The mayor shouldn't be involved at the initial point of when these instances happen. The city employees are told that if we have a resident in town that is upset with something that they've done, that they are to just say, hey, ma'am, sir, could you please contact the city administrator and we'll get this resolved. They're asked to leave the property. If they're told to get away, they do that. They will go back to the city office. They will report to the city administrator. She can go ahead, she will file a report. She will get involved with HR. HR will in turn examine the report. They will do an interview with that employee. If the citizen in town actually comes in and visits with the administrator, then they're actually brought in to go over what the situation was so that it can be handled properly. At the point that the disciplinary actions need to be taken, I feel that the clerk, the administrator, HR, and the mayor should be involved. At the point of a decision of disciplinary action, those four entities come together, then also notify the council, be like, hey, we had a situation in town, this is the steps that we're taking. So that everybody in the office, anybody that's on the council, mayor, everybody knows what's going on. A lot of that stuff where it comes to an employee, you have that privacy policy. So it's not something that we can announce. We can go into a closed door session and we can discuss. But understand, anybody in this town, if there's ever an issue, it needs to be taken to the city office.
If elected, what steps would you take to improve public facilities, such as the swimming pool, golf course, and baseball fields?
Yeah, this is definitely a place where we need to look for funding, grants, maybe fundraisers, look through the city budget, see if we can, some of those projects that you speak of are coming up, and they're going to be coming up very soon. It's no surprise that the shape that our pools are in, or the request at the ball diamonds for some upgrades out there, that we need to prioritize and potentially budget for, so that they aren't surprises, that it's not a season-ending event for any of the services, the facilities that the city manages. We don't want that should not be a surprise. We're all aware of it. We know it's coming. We need to budget for it and plan for it. Also get the grants and the funding for it from other sources.
How would you approach conflict resolution during city council meetings? Would you allow city council members to ask questions regarding the agenda items brought up during council meetings?
No, I would, as a mayor, if I was a mayor, I would have the council member, how would you say it, talk, see what's the problem is, and see how we could fix it, and whatever the agenda is, make sure that that the council members, all the council members knows what's going on.
If you could change one aspect of the city's zoning code, what would it be and why? How do you propose enforcing the zoning code?
Under the building code, one thing which we've been coming up with, at one time in our ordinances, we had a limit outside city limits that for health and welfare, the city had some jurisdiction. Under the new ordinance book, which we got put out, we are currently working on and trying to get up to par with what our old one used to be, is one of the things I think is a quiet zone of build outside of the city limits. We cannot do anything with the railroads. But the thing that we have going on with the grain fans running and the engine brakes on the trucks coming into this town, this summer has gotten extremely out of hand, I think. I know the PD has been working on it. We even know the vehicles that are doing it. But it's very disruptive to a lot of people in this town, especially at 5 o'clock in the morning when you live near the highway. And this one truck, he approaches the city and he runs his engine brake right up to the city limits sign. I don't think it's fair to our community. This is one of the big problems I think we need to address. That's one of mine looking at.
What strategies would you use to improve communication between the community and city council?
Well, I think again, possibly using social media as a platform for one, getting it out there. Like if city council, if we have agendas that we're going to be focusing on, letting the city know, in some way, shape, or form, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we're going to be talking about. That way, they can, if they have any questions, they could maybe prepare those questions. And then again, open door policy for when we have meetings, be like, hey, come and express what it is that your opinion that you have. Everybody has an opinion, and I think it'd be hard to hear every opinion because we're talking about 2,000 citizens, but however, still it'd be nice to hear everybody's opinion and take the very best approach that the city council can possibly take.
How would you collaborate with future event coordinators to promote Mitchell and the surrounding area?
Working with them to collaborate and to understand what they need and try to get the community involved in putting together information, the stuff that they could use, and working with the chamber, as we all should know that they have a lot of contact, stuff like that.
How are we on time?
They've been using about half of their time, so I think we could go a little longer.
Well, we're almost out of questions. We'll have to start recycling very shortly.
No, that's all right. Let's use the questions and we'll be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's no cushions under these chairs.
Okay, we're going to switch everybody up here on stage. We're putting the candidates over here for the next round. How would you work with outside entities to improve infrastructure at public facilities, such as the Mitchell Airfield, the ball fields, the swimming pool, and the golf course?
Right now, the city, we are doing some improvements at the golf course. Last year, we did some improvements up at the pool. We've worked at trying to get the seal on the bottom of the pool. We have a horrible crack. It's one of the oldest pools in the state of Nebraska that's still being operated, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that it continues operating. We've had to put some serious money into the boiler and some of the plumbing that goes with the pool. Our staff has been spot on trying to get these things done. We did open up, we got some grant money that we can use to kind of clean up the outside of the golf course, get some new siding, we put new windows in. Hopefully they're gonna start on that pretty soon. The airfield, we have the Balloon Fest out there, we've got parking out there, we've got power out there now so that they can hook up some of the vendors that come out. We get porta potties out there if necessary. At the track club, they put in a ski range. There's a lot of things that are going on. There's a lot of updates that we're trying to do. What it comes down to is financially what we can do. Agreed, yeah, grants would be great, but grants only give you so much. You ask for a $100,000 grant, they may say you've got to put up $30,000 up front. We'll see how it works. Then we might go ahead and give you that other $70,000. We're working with that. We're also looking at ways that we can get the community involved. Get some, where we used to, when I first moved here 30 years ago, we had people, we got together, we cleaned a grocery store so that they could reopen. We worked on the ball fields and brought equipment in, and we helped the city so that we could maintain those ball fields. The city can't do it all at once, and I would love to have that community involvement again. I want to see it.
My time.
Would you support opportunities for community comments at city council meetings, and how would you approach an open door policy?
I am very much in favor of an open door policy, and in regards to the community comments at the city council meeting, I feel that's important. You know, not everybody can find the time to reach out to the council members before the meetings, and I think that if we had a few minutes designated at the beginning for the community to speak their mind, it would have to be limited because we don't want these meetings to go on for hours, but especially if there's hot topic items, to have the community be able to come forth and say a short bit before the vote's cast and not after the decision's made, so that those ideas resonate within the council member before the vote actually happens. Because if we only speak up after the decision's made, there's no change that can happen at that point. It has to be before.
What steps would you take to rebuild trust between city leadership and the community?
Well, first time, if I was elected mayor, I would go out and visit the community and inform the community through website to see what Mitchell's doing and how we're trying to improve it and everything else.
What is your vision for Mitchell's future?
To grow. It's got the potential to grow. It has the people to drive that potential. We just need new leadership to bring it forward and to go. It's all here. It's just got to be developed. And I think now the citizens of Mitchell are ready for this to happen. We see it with this audience here tonight. There's many ways I'd like to say that the citizens of Mitchell know what goes on in the city of Mitchell by looking at the city net on a computer. They can see the city council packet the same as we council people see. They can see the agendas. They have the information out there if they're interested, and if they will look at it, they will help develop ideas they can bring which will help forward this community.
How would you describe your leadership style and leadership strengths?
Well, for me, it's I try to lead how I want to be treated, you know. And when it comes to, like, for instance, with running my business, you know, I try to lift up my employees. I try to encourage them. I try to build trust with them. You know, and I feel like if, for instance, like if I'm always tearing my employees down, then my business is not gonna succeed, because eventually I'm not gonna have any employees. You know, I want the people that work for me, you know, to feel like they're important, to feel like they matter. You know, and the same thing goes, you know, if I'm elected on city council, you know, to the city employees that are currently there and even the new ones, you know, I want to build that trust with them. I want them to know that I care, that I have their back, you know, and I mean, in all honesty, they have a lot of knowledge that I currently don't, and I want them to know, I want to use them for that knowledge, you know, so I can grow, you know, and then we can also, you know, grow together.
How would you work with outside entities to improve infrastructure at public facilities, such as the airfield, ball field, swimming pool, and golf course?
Just like collaboration, working with Chamber of Commerce. We can get the citizens involved in improving. That's what we really need, is to get you, the citizens, involved within the city.
Last round of questions. Well, for now, anyway. If the city received a large grant with flexible use, how would you prioritize spending it and why?
Well, that's kind of a double-edged question, because a lot of your grants are very specific. There's not a lot of play that I can say I can put money into the movie theater and also put money in the park. A lot of your grants that I've seen, and they're hard to write, they're hard to read, they're very specific, they're very detail-oriented, because the government, when you get grants, they'll spend billions of dollars on nothing. But if you go in and you're asking for $800,000, it's like you're trying to buy the Hope Diamond. And we can't have that as a community. I mean, we get what we can, we read on what we can get. We have people that are writing grants that are doing a great job. And you're not going to get all the money in the world. We're a very small city, verge of even being considered a village. And maybe if we were a village, we would get better benefits. We would get a little bit more money. We just, our population, the people in the community are awesome. And we're doing everything we can. I want to do everything we can to get more grants, to get more money, to financially be able to support with the chamber, with the city, to get some of these buildings and to get some growth.
How would you work to build unity and collaboration between city staff and the council?
Most importantly, we're all a team. The citizens, the city council, the city employees, we're all a team, and we need to act like it. You know, there should not be any type of major conflict that comes up. You know, we're all humans, we all have our own opinions, and we need to be compassionate and understanding with each other, especially within the walls of the city hall, the city council and the city employees. We all need to get together to strive to do what's best for this community. That's what this community deserves.
What is your vision for Mitchell's future?
My vision, the vision for the city of Mitchell is to improve, have a good relationship with the city council and residents of Mitchell, and to improve everything. That'd be it.
We're down to a single question out of the box for the council members, so
We can let them all answer the same question.
I was going to do. So this will be answered by all three of you. How would you help attract and support new businesses interested in locating in the community?
That's a difficult question, because unless you're out on the outside and know of businesses maybe that want to come into this community, first you got to locate them and find them. Then you need to study what they want to do, and we have to study our infrastructure and what we have available for what they may want to do within our community. So it's not just an overnight step of jumping from here into there. It's a long drawn out process, can be, and most of the time it is. As they always say, government works very slow, and it's going to continue on that way of doing it.
Can you ask the question one more time, please?
Sure, make me dig for it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, don't worry about it. I didn't realize you dropped it in the box.
Oh, I will find it. It's going to I'm just dealing cards here.
Okay, well, one is to, again, it starts with in my opinion, the revitalization of downtown. You've got to have attractive buildings, for anybody to even consider wanting to put a business here. The other thing is, in my opinion, is pushing shopping local. If somebody that might want to bring a business here, if they see that the citizens aren't shopping local, that they're not supporting local, why would they want to bring a business here if even the citizens here aren't going to support it? So we really need to, we currently have businesses here, great businesses, and in all honesty, look at the two restaurants, Paradigm and Reds, fantastic businesses. S&S Plumbing, we currently have a grocery store, that's now for sale, but, I don't know if we were necessarily supporting that, the grocery store like we should. If we were, I don't think they'd be closing, is my honest opinion. So we really need to support our local businesses, and then again, like I said, revitalize the downtown. So somebody that might be interested, then like, hey, Mitchell's the place where I want to put my business. That's what I got. Thank you.
It's like the businesses that want to come here, are they going to make it? Can we support them, like Gary said, and Jared? But we also need to clean up the rest of the town too. You drive through Mitchell, there's junk everywhere, and I think that's going to do a lot.
We'll now move to the closing statements by the candidates. Each will have 5 minutes.
Me? Start the other end. What was the question anyway?
You have 5 minutes for closing remarks.
Well, if I was elected mayor, I hope everybody vote for me. If not, it's no big deal, but I want to be able to represent City of Mitchell and everything else to improve everything. Improve the structures and the structures and everything. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time. So I'm not much of a speaker, but I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be great to see all these people out here to a meeting. And I'm thankful for this, and I hope you vote for me.
Thank you again to everyone who came out tonight and those who made this conversation possible. A special thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for putting this together and supporting our community. Debates like this matter because they give us an opportunity to talk honestly about where we are, who we are, where we're going as a community. The truth is, Mitchell's been through some challenges. When the trust in leadership is shaken, it impacts all of us. It creates doubt, frustration, and a sense that our community deserves better. We do deserve better. We deserve leadership that's transparent, accountable, and grounded in integrity. Leadership that understands every decision made, every dollar spent, and every resource used belongs to the people of this town. That's the standard I believe in, and that's the standard I will uphold. My campaign isn't about looking backwards. It's about restoring confidence and moving forward. It's about making sure that the focus is always where it should be, on serving this community with honesty, responsibility, and respect. During my time on City Council, I worked hard to be someone people can count on. I've shown up, I've listened, and I've been part of the progress we've made, especially in strengthening our downtown and supporting local growth. But progress only matters if it's built on a foundation of trust. Transparency is a very important concept to me. As mayor, I will make transparency a top priority. I will ensure that decisions are made in the open and the communication is clear and the people of Mitchell always know where their city stands. Because leadership isn't about power, it's about responsibility. As a family man, I take that responsibility seriously. I want Mitchell to be a place where families feel confident in their leaders, where kids grow up seeing what honesty and service look like, and where people know the community is in good hands. We have an opportunity right now, not just to continue moving forward, but to do it the right way, to rebuild trust, strengthen relationships, and create a future that reflects the values that we all share. This election is about more than choosing a mayor. It's about choosing integrity. It's about choosing accountability. And it's about choosing a path forward that we can all be proud of. I bring experience, I bring commitment, and I bring a deep respect for the community and the people in it. Mitchell's future is bright, but it depends on the choices we make today, on May 12th, and on November 3rd. Thank you all for your time, your trust, your belief in this town. Let's keep Mitchell moving forward, together, with purpose, and with pride. Thank you.
Well, again, thank you for everybody that showed up. It's good to see everybody come out. Again, I'm working off of transparency, accountability, and a high level of communication. With that, that's going to create education. That's going to let the people in the community know, hey, this is how much money we have to work with. This is the things that we have. These are our ideas for our budget. I want the people to be involved in this. I want the people to be more hands-on like I want to lead. I want to be hands-on. I don't want anybody to do anything that I wouldn't want to do myself. I want to make sure that the people in this town are heard. We don't have to dwell, like the other members have said, we're not dwelling on the past, we're dwelling on the future. We want to make Mitchell great. We want to step forward. We want to see things that can make this town what it has the potential of being. We need to work with the chamber. Chamber works with the city, and the community comes together. We work, we volunteer, we step up and help when we can. If they can't help in the labor issues, you know what? We need people that have that great idea. Hey, what if you guys did this? It's things that we all need to look at. I want to be able to let people know that you come to the meetings, you're welcome. I've been on the council for a long time, 14, 15, I think we're going on 16 years. I've never stepped up to try to be the mayor. I am now. I've seen what the potential is. I know what the employees can do. I know what this community can do. And I want to be part of it.
Last one.
Again, I want to thank everyone that showed up for this meeting tonight, because it does show determination. I would like to run. I am running for city council. I would appreciate your vote. I think my track record with the committees and my last 6 years on council should prove that I am concerned about this city, and I study all the questions and everything and investigate them quite a bit. So I'd like to thank you for showing up. I asked for your vote, and I approve this message.
I also want to thank everybody that came out tonight to support this forum. you know, again, I don't have as much experience as a lot of these guys up here do. However, like I said, the honesty, the transparency, you know, trust, all of that is vital, you know, for this community to grow, to thrive, and you know, and I believe it truly can. You know, it's a great community. We have some great schools already that shoot people from Scotts Bluff. You know, they're toting their kids here because of how great our schools are. You know, and so you know, we build on that and make it to where, you know, the community is a trustworthy community that, you know, the citizens, you know, as Roy said, the citizens, the city, the chamber, you know, we're all working together for one goal, and not working against each other. You know, so you know, it's there, it's within reach, you know, and I believe that we all together can work for that goal and make this town of ours a great town.
First of all, I'd like to thank the chamber and everybody that attended. All the knowledge that these five guys have told me. And I've lived in Mitchell 71 years, 10 months and 16 days. And I love this town. We have a fantastic school system. And I want to be part of the team, the legislative team of the city, to bring forth growth and everything that we can do working with the citizens of Mitchell. I think they can become a part of us, and I'd appreciate your vote.
If you could, please, a round of applause for our candidates for our forum for tonight. On behalf of the Mitchell Chamber of Commerce, I want to thank all of you in the audience for turning out tonight. Also, our candidates for mayor and city council. No, the chairs were not intended to be unnecessarily difficult, hard to sit on. We would have brought church pews if that was the case. We also want to take a moment to thank the Nile Theater and the Friends of the Nile for providing this venue. We hope that let's please round of applause. We hope that you found out something new tonight about your candidates, something that you will be able to consider as you go to the polls coming up here, not only in May, but also in November. And with that, thank you very much for attending. Please drive home safely and have a good night.
Be sure to check out the community calendar and more stories from around the area on our website at www.aroundthetownnews.wordpress.com.